Salam everyone, this is Ziad. Let's talk about Kazakhstan. So you're planning your trip to visit Kazakhstan, a land that's famous for its mountains, grasslands, and probably very generous people. But before you come here, before you start packing your bags, here are a few things that you should not do in Kazakhstan from someone who've lived here long enough to know these things. So stay tuned so that you will not be in shameful situations or even funny ones. Number one, do not whistle indoors or at night. There's a wide belief here in Kazakhstan, in Kazakh culture, that whistling indoors or especially at the nighttime will whistle away or whistle out all of your wealth and prosperity. So that's why whistling is usually avoided once in your somebody's in once you are once you are in somebody's house or once you're at nighttime. Because again, as I just said, whistling will whistle out in a sense all of your wealth and good luck and prosperity as well. That happened to me when I was moving out from an apartment to another. For some reason, I whistled at the new apartment that I was in, and the owner had to look at me and tell me that this thing is avoided. She wasn't rude or anything. She was just trying to explain to me that it's culturally just not appreciated to whistle in someone's house or at nighttime. So avoid whistling. Number two, and I feel like it's a cliche to say that, or it's a very general advice for any country that you visit, you should always, or you must always, show respect to the local costume and culture in the country that you're gonna visit, Kazakhstan in our case, right? My advice here would include visiting holy places or the religious places like the mosques, the Islamic mosques, or the Christian churches. Please always put in mind that you're supposed to cover from shoulder to knee, and if you're a woman, you should also do the same from shoulders to knees. And with the inclusion of your hair, you should also cover your hair to respect the religion, that's one, and also to respect the culture of this specific site. Showing your hair or showing your shoulders, any place between your shoulders and knees, would be viewed as disrespectful to the people that you're going to be interacting with in that site. I'm not here to say that you should always be covered this way in all the places of Kazakhstan. Quite the contrary, actually. But consider doing this when visiting a religious site. Number three, and that's gonna cause a lot of arguments, you should always show respect to the elderly. And while a lot of people will argue with me about this, but if you're in a bus, if you're riding a bus and an old lady or an old man comes up to you or comes up to the bus, you should always leave your seat to them. Um, that's, as I said, it's a big argument even in Kazakhstan if you should leave your seat for the elderly or not. But as someone who's a foreigner and lived here long enough, I would strongly recommend you to do so, to leave your seat for them, because that's gonna save you a headache. It has been happening to me almost every day when I take public transportation here, especially with the buses. When I'm taking a seat and an old person comes, and usually they would target foreigners to stand up. I would just save myself a headache and the shouting and the argument and just stand up myself. And even if they don't take the seat, I just stood up and I would just continue my ride while standing up. And I would recommend you to do the same just to save yourself from the headache.
You moved a bit too quickly. I mean,
Number four, I would recommend you as well to not drink tap water, especially if you're not in a major city like Almaty or Astana. And while it's considered safe to do so, to drink tap water, I would still recommend you to not do this and to stick to bottled or boiled water if you have any. That's because of potential illnesses. I'm not gonna mention all the bacteria that live in like tap water and all of these things. And I do understand that in some countries like the States or European countries, it's considered okay and it's considered completely normal actually to drink from tap water. And while it's the same thing in Kazakhstan, but there are still a few issues that will be popping up around me about about tap water in Kazakhstan. That for this reason, I think you should just simply avoid tap water and stick to bottled or boiled water, just to be on the safe side. Number five, do not wear your outside shoes if you're entering a house or a place of worship. And that's just a customary thing in Kazakhstan, right? If you're invited to a house, by a Kazakh person, of course, it's just respectful to remove your shoes before entering, and in most cases, you would actually be offered a pair of slippers. But even if you weren't, it's still okay. You should take off your shoes, and also not also your shoes. You should take off your coat if you're wearing one, or your jacket if it's winter, and that's just respectful in Kazakh culture. And not only Kazakh culture, it's a Turk thing actually. It's in most of the Turk nations like Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and all the tens, all the countries that end with tens at this point. So remember that you should take your shoes off, and if you're wearing a jacket or a coat, these things also should be taken off as a sign of respect to the host, and also in religious places. Number six, and this one is for the couples that will be visiting Kazakhstan. While it's okay to show affection in public, I would still refrain from doing so, and I would advise you to not participate in a lot of public display of affection. And as I said, while it's okay, and I don't think there is anything like written in the law about it, but Kazakh culture itself is conservative. And these things are better to be done in private places or private areas, like a room or a house or even a hotel room would be okay. Um, but again, as I said before, these things, I don't really think that there are laws against it. But however, to be on the safe side and just to show respect to the local culture of Kazakhstan, which is conservative when it comes to showing of affection, I would recommend you to refrain from doing these things altogether in public. However, that does not mean that you cannot hold hands, hug sometimes, or even kiss. But a lot of it will not be good on your half. Number seven, and I think that will be the most sensitive out of all the recommendations I gave. Please, for the love of God, do not bring up the movie Borat.
Good comedy.
Do not bring up the movie Borat when it comes to what the actor himself was doing, because he does not represent what Kazakhs do or anything of Kazakh culture. I've been living here for almost 3.5 years, and I've never seen stuff like that. Not in villages, not in Almaty, the city that I live in, or not even in the capital. Um, so it would be better for you to avoid talking about him, because even the local opinion about him in Kazakhstan, between the young people, the young generation, the old generation, children who are 2 years old probably will dislike this movie, because to say the least, it's offensive. It does not really reflect Kazakh people as they are, and it shows nothing of them, right? Kazakh people do not make out with their mothers. They do not kiss their sisters. They do not speak gibberish. Um, they are not feminists, as I saw in the movie when Borat himself was speaking to a woman in the form of a guy for some reason because she had short hair. These things, I've never seen them in Kazakhstan. And while maybe these things exist by some certain people in Kazakhstan, because these things exist everywhere, they should not reflect the entire image of a nation, right? If one person does something bad, doesn't mean that Kazakhstan is entirely bad. It just means that this person is bad. And again, for the love of God, do not mention the movie Borat. Do not talk about the guy. Do not talk about the movie. Just for your own safety and for you to enjoy your trip. Because the public opinion about him here is very, very negative. Because again, this movie and this person do not reflect Kazakhstan in any way. What I number 8, please do not neglect to carry your passport with your visa registration when you're walking in Kazakhstan. I don't know if that's a thing in all countries, but I guess it is. But a policeman can stop you at any second and ask you for your passport or for your visa registration if you have a visa. And if you do not carry these, you will probably be taken to the police station. And I think that you can spend some time in jail, if I'm not mistaken, a day or two. I will have to check this out, and it will pop up around me as well. So do not neglect to carry your passport with you at all times, and don't be stupid like me, because I did not carry it at once when I firstly moved here, and I thought that a picture on my phone would be enough, but it wasn't. And I was taken to the station. A report was written, and then I called someone who knew Russian, because back at the time I didn't know Russian well enough. Not like I know Russian nowadays, but it's better. I'm getting there. I had to call someone to like explain my situation to the policeman, and that I was new in the country and blah blah blah, all the drama. So, for the sake of your safety as well, Do not neglect to carry your passport, your IDs, your visa registration if you have one, with you at all times when you're walking on the street. Number 9. While it might seem awkward for some people that horse meat is eaten in Kazakhstan, not only eaten actually, it's considered a delicacy in Kazakhstan. It's a show of wealth. If a Kazakh person invites you for horse meat or pishbarmak, the dish that's made after horses, and a picture of it will be popping here, that's considered very a friendly gesture, right? Because they appreciate horse meat here. And before you ask me about this, not all horses are eaten. Some horses are considered friends, and Kazakh people do not eat their friends. Some horses are for eating though, and these horses are usually not taken out for riding. So they're not horses to be ridden; they're horses to be eaten. And these are not my words; these are words of a person who's a Kazakh person who told me these, and he's a horse rider, a professional horse rider actually. And before you even ask me, I've tried horse meat before once, and it's very thin if it's cooked well. And you will probably will not even feel difference between horse meat or beef if you're offered both of them on the same plate. And this is exactly what happened to me. My friends invited me for horse meat, but they told me it's just like beef, and I went there and woohoo, it was horse. And they've told me this after I ate it, and I didn't even feel difference. I freaked out at the time, of course, because I'm a foreigner after all. But now that I'm thinking about it, it was pretty normal. Nothing strange about it at all. So do not disrespect the local cuisine. Do not disrespect horse meat. It's just like any other meat. Number 10. While it's okay to discuss political issues or ethical issues in Kazakhstan, I would also recommend you to refrain from doing so with locals, or to not get into deep politics uh, with the locals, right? Because people have their opinions, and people sometimes will not be as comfortable with a foreign, of course, to share these things. Common issues in Kazakhstan will include corruption, some women rights, and a lot of things that actually the government is working on to improve. And I would just, as a simple recommendation from me, I would recommend you to avoid discussing these things with the locals. You can discuss them with your friends if you happen to have any local friends, but by locals I mean strangers. Because again, some of them might agree to discuss these things with you, but again, it's a matter of being comfortable enough to discuss these issues with you. Because as any other people, they would be embarrassed that a foreign person knows about these things, right? And while it's an issue here, as I said, corruption, I would recommend you to stay away from it in all ways, even if you're asked to do it, right? By the locals or by official authorities or by whatever. It's a crime in Kazakhstan actually to accept it or to do it. And sometimes you might be asked to do it if you're caught in trouble or whatever. If you are, please don't do it. Refrain from doing it. Run away from it. I don't know. Know your rights, and don't do it. And actually, I would recommend you, if you're asked to do it, to record the case or to have a camera on you or whatever, to record the entire situation. And again, for the love of God, for the second time, do not accept any corruption and do not participate in any actions that could include corruption. It's illegal in Kazakhstan to accept these things or even to give them. So please know your rights and know what you're doing. Mm. Number 11. When you're giving something to someone, let's say money or whatever you're giving to someone, do not give it with your left hand and do it with your right hand instead, or do it with both hands. I've seen these things a lot done in the supermarkets when people pay with cash. They usually wouldn't give it with their left hand, they would give it either with both their hands or their right hand. Or in some cases, they would not even do it directly, they would put it in a plastic plate that would usually be placed in front of the cashier. They would put the money there, and the cashier would do the same if they have any money left with the cashier. Maybe it's not widely practiced in Kazakhstan because I've seen things being handed out with the left hand like normally, but again, it's a thing. I've seen it. I've seen some Kazakhs do it. I've been told to do it as well by my friends, so I would recommend you to do it. Right hand or both hands are okay. Number 12, and the last one will be that you should not drink heavily in public, or show that you're drunk in public. While alcohol is consumed in Kazakhstan, it's a legal thing if you're 21. However, being drunk in public is a crime, and it's illegal according to the Kazakh law. So if you're planning to have a wild night, or if you're planning to drink a lot, I would recommend you to do that in a private setting, at home, at your room, or whatever. But do not show this in public, especially if you're driving in any other, just like in any other country, because that's a crime, and you can actually be in jail for that. Nice. All right. These were a few things that you should not be doing in Kazakhstan if you're planning to come to have a comfortable and a happy stay in Kazakhstan, while also being responsible. The links for the information that I've just told you will be in my description box. And please do not forget that if you enjoyed the video, do not forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these videos. Also, if you want to show more support and if you want to communicate directly with me, you can follow me on my Instagram, which is on the top here. It will always be on the top of the screen, right? Till then, take care, stay safe, and stay tuned for more videos about Kazakhstan from the eyes of a foreigner. Goodbye, and see you in the next one.